In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to take input from a user. Just like the print function, Python also has another inbuilt function called the input function. Let's take a look at how the input function works. To take input from a user, we type input. Okay, so type input, open and close brackets, and inside the brackets, we type a message to prompt the user. Let's open our parentheses and type enter your name. Okay, good. Now let's run our program. So as you can see, it's printed everything we were printing, and on the last line it's prompting us to type our name. You can see the cursor is still there and the program hasn't ended. So let's type our name here and hit enter. Now the program has ended. Okay, so now to temporarily stop what was provided, we need a variable. This is important because developers take inputs to make informative decisions in the application. So let's type the name of our variable. I'm going to name mine name, since we are taking the name of a user. Okay, so let's type name and equal to the value. So in our case, our value is going to be what was provided through the input function. Okay, good. Now let's print out the name just to check that the input given is exactly what is being stored. So type print, right? And then open brackets, and then what are we printing? This variable here called name. Good. Now let's save our code and run our program. Good. So now we are being prompted to type our name, right? So let me type my name once more, enter, and you can see my name was printed back on the last line. Sometimes you have to convert data from one type to another. Let me show you. Let's take an input from a user, right, and store it in a variable. And this time around, we are going to take the age of a user. I'm going to name a variable user underscore age equal to input, and I'm going to prompt the user to type their age. Enter your age. Exactly, just like that. Now let's write a code to calculate the year our user was born. So we are in 2024 minus user underscore age, right? Good. So now let's store the results of this calculation in a variable called year of birth. So year underscore of underscore birth is equal to this. And now let's print of birth. Let's save this, and before we go ahead and run, so notice how I do not use spaces in the variable names. That's because you cannot use spaces in variable names, rather replace the spaces with underscore. There are other naming conventions to which we will discuss in this course. Now let's run our program and see what happens. Okay, so let's run our code, and it says enter your name. That's from line 11, which is here, right? So we type our name Peniel, and it says enter our age. So you can see it's printed our name on line 12, right? And on line 14, it's prompting us to enter our age. So I'm going to enter my age, which is 22. Hit enter. So when you see this, it means your program just encountered an error, and when you read carefully, it will actually tell you on which line and which file was the error detected, right? So let's read the message we have here. Okay, so you can see it says file, and then it's indicating that in our app.py, right, our app.py on line 15, right, this piece of code right here was the one causing the issue. And you can see here, because we installed the Python extension in VS Code, it's actually detected it for us before we actually executed our code. So the age we typed, right, and in my case I typed 21, or whatever you put in there gets returned as a string. Okay, so when you type 18, it comes like this, 18, not 18 like this, right? It get returned as 18 like this, and we know that everything in a quote or parenthesis is a string, right? This is an integer, this is a string. So you have to make sure that the value the input function is returning is converted into an integer, and logically we can only subtract numbers from numbers, so we have to convert the string to an integer, and it's very simple to implement. All you have to do is type int, open brackets and close brackets, and then put whatever you want to convert to integer inside the brackets, and in that case is the user's age, right? This age, the one that has been returned from the inputs, that is what we want to convert to an int. And as you can see, the red line is what? Gone. So now let's save our program and run our program again. Good. Now it's asking for a name. We already know where this is from. Now it's prompting us for our age, right? So let's type 23 today, hit enter, and it's telling us our year of birth is 2021. Let's add a message to it to make it more intentional. So let's take this off, and in here I'm going to type you were born on the year of birth, right? So how do we add the year of birth? We have to concatenate it, right? So you have to add plus year of birth. Good. Now you can see there's another issue here, right? That's because we are trying to add letters to a number. Remember, here it was casted to a number, and then we did our operation on number, and then it returned what? The year of birth, which is also a number. So if you actually put your cursor over the red squiggly line, it's telling you that the types are not supported with the operator we have, right? So right now what we have to do is to convert this integer into a string. It's very simple to do that. We are going to use the str function, just like the int function. Let's type str, open and close brackets, and then in the str we put whatever we want to convert to the string, and that was going to be our year of birth, right? We put that down. So now the process of joining two strings together is called concatenation. Okay, if you hear this in class, don't let it confuse you. If you see this on your exam papers, don't let it confuse you. It means add two pieces of characters together, put them together. Okay, so now instead of just printing 2001, we are going to print you were born on 2001, or whatever year you were born, okay, based on the age you provided. Let's clear our terminal. Let's run our code again. And sorry, I think I'm typing at the wrong place. And your age, let's say I'm 23 today, and as you can see, it says you were born on 2001. So the other functions that we haven't looked at yet that helps you to convert data from one type to the other, let's look at them. So converting data to bool. So if you see any line of code that starts with the hash sign in Python, it's a comment, and comment serves as note for the developer, indicating what is to be done or what was done. Comments do not get executed by the interpreter, it always gets skipped. Okay, so we have the bool function, which works just like the int. You put whatever you want to convert into bool, and we all know what a bool is, right? A bool is either a true or false value. We also have floats. We also know what a float is. Floats are decimal point values, right? Positive and negative decimal points numbers. And the other ones we've already looked at, the int and then the string. Okay, so in today's lesson we learned how to take input from a user and also how to convert data type from one type to the other, where we actually talked about the int inbuilt function, the string inbuilt function, the bool inbuilt function, and the float inbuilt function. These are the inbuilt functions that helps you convert data types from one type to the other. Now let's move on to the next lesson.